Welcome to a new video with our home in the forest. Finally, we can show you our wooden cabin and the outhouse. It took many months of hard work, so much paint, so much wood, but here we are. This is the last episode of how we brought a wooden cabin to our forest and how we have been equipping it and building an outhouse. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and jump over to the playlist where we have the collection of all the videos about our wooden cabin and the outhouse. In spring, we brought a sauna and a wooden cabin to our forest. We want to enjoy a sauna for ourselves. A sauna is not a thing in Portugal, so we need to have this for ourselves, for our guests, for our friends. And the wooden cabin for touristic purpose, for our friends to stay. So we have been researching so much to see if it made sense to build one ourselves or to get a constructive kit to do it ourselves. But the best version for us was to get this wooden cabin and the sauna already pre-built. You can see this in our playlist, how we brought it here with a crane actually. And the outhouse, we decided we could do ourselves. And we understood that it was actually the best idea that the cabin and the sauna arrived here fully prepped because it took us forever to build the outhouse. Of course, we are not carpenters. We built this step by step, failure after failure. What's the problem you're facing right now?
To make it stable.
It's not stable, okay? Oh, well, it looks nice. Is it more stable now?
I hope it fits.
Yeah, but it's super cool. What are you doing now?
I don't know how to call it. The fixation to the door.
The goal is also to make it look rustic but nice and using a lot of natural materials. So these doors, as well as all the rest of the outhouse building, were entirely made ourselves. Also the hinges to hang the doors.
Ruku?
And again, color, painting, applying some sort of varnish to protect the wood. but also having it fit to the aesthetic that we want. We really love this kind of dark wood, so that's what we are going for.
As you can see, we figured out the doors. We did the entire door ourselves. The frame, we painted it with the matching color and welded these metal pieces to hang the door, the hinges. It works without any sound. I am actually completely amazed what Misha is able to do.
Like the, what is this, resin?
Yeah, epoxy. Epoxy.
For the shower, we have been researching and thinking about tiles or any sort of protection for the wetness that you have in a shower. And we ended up using the rest of some micro cement that we still had from renovating an apartment some years ago. And this was the perfect amount, and we could use up some leftovers. And again, color. More color. This is for the little sink that will go there. And under this bench is a water heater. We still want some luxury for the people staying with us, that they can enjoy some hot water. For the weekends, we always had to find some way to entertain the kids and still try to work a little bit on our projects around the cabin. So here the boys are building a fence behind the cabin to the neighbor's land as a visual barrier, basically. And here we are installing some glass windows on top of the doors for some natural light, that during the day you don't need to use any light to use the bathrooms. We wanted to use the old we wanted to use the old glass shelves that we had in this bookshelf that we recovered, that we got from Facebook Marketplace. Hop over there to watch that video. But one of them broke. We repurposed one and we had to buy one. So one glass was reused?
Yep.
And one you had to buy?
Yeah, because I broke the other one.
We had two actually from this old furniture. But such a cool way. But then you had to buy it. Okay, but good attempt. Anything else you encountered? Any problems so far?
This is all a big problem.
No, but what's currently on your task list?
Just trying to make it look nice in the end.
It looks super nice already.
Trying to pass to the electricity. Still don't know how to do it, but yeah, trying to step by step. There's no.
It is so pretty, Misha. Door handle. Look at this door. Wow. Cool. Very good job. Here I'm showing you a hack how I keep my brushes and rolls moist from the color that they don't dry out if you continue projects over several days. You wrap them in a plastic bag and they will stay fine for a couple of days to continue using, that you don't always use a new brush or a new roll every single day. Or that you also don't need to wash them. It's also not nice for the environment if you put the varnish down the drain. We sealed the shower cabin with micro cement and resin on top of that, but around the edges and to this, what is that, plywood, we had to also seal it, and we just used simple clear varnish. Let's see how this turns out in the long run. Misha then carved the wood to fit the electrics inside and to cover the cables up and make everything really look most natural as possible, that you don't see exposed wires, that you have this feeling of being completely surrounded by nature, feeling like you were off grid, but with the luxury of having functioning light in the night.
Need some guidance in the night to see where to go. That's why I put the lamps here.
For sealing any gaps, we did not use silicone. Of course, in the shower cabin it's silicone, but in all other parts where we needed sealing, we used this natural fiber strings and applied varnish on top of them.
Hi, no?
To sit? What's the usual sitting height of a chair? And there we are figuring out how to build a dry toilet, a compost toilet. No clue. We have seen one or two at our friends' places, but we had an idea how the design should be, but we didn't really have a 100% solution yet how we would fit it into our space. We have been also endlessly researching for a urine separator, and the prices were just insane. So the idea would be that we are ending up with dry human manure, basically, and the urine would go separately, not to have, like, how did our friend call it, a poop soup to carry around to bring to our compost, and it would also smell less. Under the outhouse, we put little stones that were then spreading out everywhere to make this look a bit nicer. We built a border from wooden logs, and yeah, we're trying to put the stones back as best as possible to make it look a bit more tidy. After the outhouse was finished, it was time to do some finishing touches in the wooden cabin. We want to have there a little cooking area, so we built this with a small shelf from IKEA. We didn't want to make an extra effort to build an entire shelf, and an extension for a cooking plate next to it. It is a bit tricky to bring things onto the wall because of the slight rounding for the roof that starts already quite low. You wouldn't notice until you're trying to attach something in a bit of a higher position. We cannot attach their shelves, for example. Not in a traditional way, at least. We have a sink at the outhouse, and you see it's just a few stairs up from the wooden cabin. But we quickly realized that if we would sleep in the wooden cabin, we would need a sink or some sort of water to maybe wash quickly a cup or wash your hands just next to the wooden cabin. So we came up with a quick idea to build a sink next to the wooden cabin. We bought a bunch of things to equip the rest of this wooden cabin because we have some friends coming over, and then it's hopefully done. We still have some things to do in the outside space, but day by day. Remember the yurt? Everywhere in our forest grows wine, so we also wanted to help most of these grapes to stand up and grow nicely, so we got some metal wire to put wherever possible. It is getting better and better. So I'm here where I did my olive tree seed. There's our wooden cabin. We found a bunch of fruit trees down here in spring, and now I was just cleaning up our grass cutting, and I found a strawberry field. A strawberry field. Little strawberry plants. So let's see if they are good to give any fruit. Our kids love strawberries. I know this might be wild strawberries, but still, that is super cool. And here she is ready for our first guests, friends coming to get us some footage flying over our property for the first time with a drone.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode. Follow us, subscribe to the channel. We would be super happy to have you with us. Bye.